One of the biggest challenges with POTS as a diagnosis is the wide array of symptoms. It's traumatic for people to go to multiple subspecialists over and over, not having an answer to connect their symptoms together. I think it's especially difficult for adolescents to be able to communicate with physicians and care teams and to feel like their symptoms are real. I don't think POTS is rare. I think we're missing it all the time.
Cole is my youngest son. He's always been the happiest kid for me, and he just makes us smile each day. Cole was 12 years old when his health really declined and took a major turn. We were sitting in church one day and he just went down. And he said, "I'm so dizzy, I can't stand up, I can't get anywhere." We had to carry him out of church that day because he couldn't walk. It's emotional to me to talk about because I remember that day really well.
I remember just going to school and walking through the halls was just like exhausting. Like my legs would be shaking and I would be feeling lightheaded the whole time. That was how it was for about a year.
Cole's symptoms would vary day to day, but he had a constant headache for 7 months. He had no energy. He looked pale all the time.
I had brain fog, so I couldn't think clearly or understand what people were saying.
We ended up just giving him on a scale of 1 to 10, how did your day end? And a lot of days were 3s and 4s. Our goal was just to see if he could walk to the mailbox or not. That would be a goal for us for the day. I wanted answers. I wanted to know what we were dealing with, but the doctors didn't have answers, so I just kept calling. My job is to protect him, to guide him. As a parent, I could not provide what he needed. Some nights when those headaches were so bad, we'd just lay in bed and I'd look over and he'd have tears coming out of his eyes. And I'd just lay next to him and tell him we're gonna have better days. I'd lie, and I'd think, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna have better days. I also spent plenty of nights in the shower crying so he wouldn't hear me. We would go and see specialists, but all they wanted to do was treat just specific symptoms and not look at the whole picture of what was going on with Cole.
We didn't know what doctors to see, and all the ones we saw could only focus on like one problem, like try to fix my headaches, and just all focus on something different. And so they were telling us to do different things, so nothing really like matched up at first, and so that was pretty frustrating.
We had one physician tell us, "We are inundated with you patients. We can't deal with all of this. You've got to at least only give me 1 or 2 things." I had one get frustrated and say, "I can't even finish my exam because he can't stand up. I asked him to stand up. Why won't he stay up?" I spent hundreds of hours calling and seeing doctors to try and find answers.
It was really frustrating that no one would believe me, and they all just thought I was like a head case and making it up for attention or just to get out of stuff.
My husband and I would get in arguments because he really did think Cole was faking at times. He would try to get Cole to do things, and you got to not let him lay on that couch. And I said, you try and get him off the couch. See if you can get him moving. And then he'd see. This was real. 6 months into our journey with Cole, we were at a hospital where a fellow recognized Cole's symptoms, and she was able to tell us that Cole most likely has POTS. I had never heard of it. The doctor described that it was Cole being in a fight or flight mode all the time, that his body, his autonomic system had basically stopped functioning, and that's why he was having all the symptoms that he suffers from. I was hopeful at first, thinking, well, at least now I have a label, but the solutions weren't all that clear, and they also didn't have appointments to treat him. It took us 6 months to get into the autonomic lab to diagnose Cole's type of POTS with Dr. Cortez. She actually said, I normally don't test kids this young in my lab, but I did this because he's got to fight this.
After Cole's diagnostic testing, which included tilt table test, we sat down and we discussed his diagnosis. Cole's tilt table test showed an exuberant heart rate response that was out of proportion of even what we'd expect in a young adolescent like himself. During that time, he also had reproduction of symptoms, and those two factors are what supported his diagnosis of POTS.
It was so liberating to hear from her what we could do, and the biggest help that she gave us is she gave us the referral to Dr. Colby. I remember the day we went to his first appointment. It felt so validating to have the initial questions be on an iPad that asked us how Cole was doing with his symptoms, and it listed everything. And then to meet with Dr. Colby and get his treatment changed my son's life.
I don't know, they've helped me so much. I don't know where I'd be without them. I mean, before I'd talk to them or they'd help me or anything, I don't think I'd be doing anything that I am today. I believe healing is possible for other kids like me.
POTS to me is like riding a roller coaster ride, and it's not a fun one. No one signed up for it, and you have lots of ups and downs. But when we started getting the treatment from Dr. Colby, then our downs weren't as long lasting. He has some days where he doesn't have the same amount of energy as probably all the other kids. But now he has a plan, and he can just move forward and enjoy being a kid again.
The difference we saw in Cole from when he first came to how he is now is pretty dramatic. And he wasn't the type of person who wanted to sit around. It's possible for many POTS patients to find normalcy and improve.
I think the best news is that patients with POTS can go back to normal life over time. Much of this progress is done through the simple stuff, and the stuff that primary care actually supports on a long-term basis is a lifestyle change.
What if all pediatricians learned to treat POTS? We would have parents and children validated, knowing that there's something physically wrong with them.
Once they understand that it's real, and then more importantly, that there's a physician willing to partner with them that believes them, that's incredibly powerful. Someone believes them, someone cares about them, and they're willing to fight for them to become better.
Once you have that, you can sort of move on and focus on function and recovering function. Now we can proceed, we can line up our care team, and we know what to do.
POTS is treatable. I know every day is different, and it's a struggle, but you gotta keep trying, you gotta keep fighting it. And you're gonna have your ups and downs, but as you treat it and fight it, every day will get better.